So we can see in the Vedas how the human progression has been done. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, the Upanishad is named as Taittiriya. What is the meaning? Now there are two versions, two explanations for the name, why that Upanishad has got the Taittiriya. One is, there was a Rishi. Rishi means who? Spiritual scientist. One who dedicated his mind to search the truth, to experience the truth. So that Rishi, his name was Tittiri. His name was Tittiri. So there is again the Sanskrit Sandhi and all grammar. I'm not going to it. So that the Upanishad which has come from the Rishi called Tittiri, that's why it is called Taittiriya Upanishad. That is the one explanation given. The other interesting explanation is, it goes like this. There was a great sage called Vaishampayana. He was very well informed, or rather he was good at our literature, that is Vedic literature, and he was also the experiencer of the Brahman. So he was Shrotriya and Brahmanishta. Means he knows Vedas nicely, and also he has experienced the ultimate truth. And he had several disciples. Among them, one of the chief disciple who was quite intelligent and quite sharp, his name was Yajnavalkya. Yajnavalkya. Okay, and again here also there goes two stories, at least one story I will tell today. So Yajnavalkya was asked by his teacher Vaishampayana to teach subjects, because he was quite intelligent, he was quite sharp, he was able to understand the teachings better and assimilate. As a result, he had good command over the teachings. So his teacher asked the student Yajnavalkya to teach other friends, so that they can learn few things. While teaching, Yajnavalkya with pride and with arrogance, he made a comment. As a result, one of his friend, he got hurt, and both of them started fighting each other. I mean, verbally, I mean to say. Then his guru Vaishampayana was really moved by this. He got angry, or he got annoyed, and he asked Yajnavalkya to ask a sorry, probably. And I think Yajnavalkya didn't do it, because Yajnavalkya felt it was not so. I have not done wrong anything, so why should I ask pardon? Why should I be apologetic? Then his guru, Vaishampayana, got annoyed and angry, because he has done mistake and is not accepting it and is not apologetic. Such a person is not fit to be my student. And such person is not fit to study the Vedic literature. So he asked him to give back all his knowledge, the knowledge which has taught. Then how to give? Very interestingly, this Yajnavalkya gave, like he vomited in the form of food granules, whatever he learned the knowledge from his guru Vaishampayana. These other students were very happy here. They thought, because Yajnavalkya is quite intelligent student and he knew all the subjects, so by consuming it, we will get the knowledge. And all their other students, they took the form of Tittiri bird. It was, I think, Indian grey partridge. It is a form of bird, Indian grey partridge it is. So all the students took the form of that Indian grey partridge, Tittiri, and they consumed it. They consumed the food, and all of them got the Vedic knowledge. But when Yajnavalkya vomited, it was food granules and mixed with a blood. It was a dark blood, dark colored blood. As a result, Krishna Yajurveda. This Yajurveda got Krishna means black in nature. Why? Because this black Yajurveda, why? Because from Yajnavalkya, the other friends, they swallowed it, and from them, this Yajurveda started, getting spread to the others. As a result, it is called Yajurveda. Anyway, this is a symbolic story, actually. Now, how can we vomit our knowledge, and how someone can consume just like a food? How is it possible? So it is only symbolic here. So probably Yajnavalkya knew things, and Yajnavalkya told to his other friends, he taught, and they took it. As a result, that story might have come. It has to be taken very symbolically. It should not be taken literally. Anyhow, so basically some Titri birds, Indian Greek partridge birds are involved here. That's why it is called Taittiriya Upanishad. Now, and very interestingly, if you see, I mean, just I'm getting very, I'm not able to control myself to tell this story. If you have studied the Brodhanika Upanishad, this Yajnavalkya had two wives. I mean, before that, Yajnavalkya, then he got angry and annoyed and all that. Then Yajnavalkya said, from today onwards, I will not have any teachers in the form of human form. I don't want any human teachers at all because human teachers also have some limitations. So I don't want any of them. He decided. Then he didn't only decide, he made it possible. Then he went to the forest and he practiced several penance, praying to the sun god. He had decided, I will not accept any human teachers. I will accept only God as my teacher. And he did a severe penance, thinking or meditating on the sun god. Then after a few years or a decade, sun god appeared in the form of horse. Because he didn't want to accept the teacher in the form of human form, so the sun god appeared in the form of horse actually. Vaja, and the horse, one of the Sanskrit terms is called Vaja. Then the horse asked the Yajnavalkya, what do you want? I have forgotten all the knowledge I have learned from my guru. Now you teach me the new form of knowledge. So then the new form of Yajurveda was given from the sun god to the Yajnavalkya. So that's why it is called Vajasaneya or Shukla Yajurveda. Shukla means white because he learned that from white horse. So that's why it is called Shukla Yajurveda, white Yajurveda. This again is a story here. So we should all take it symbolically. We should not take literally. So basically, a person by doing penance or meditation for a long time, one can get the vidya, one can get the knowledge, one can get the skills. That's what we have to understand. And this Yajnavalkya had two wives actually. One is Maitreyi, the other is Katyayini. And after some time, Yajnavalkya was quite famous and all. So he had a quite good amount of property. Then he wanted to go to forest at some point of time. And he wanted to lead a contemplative life, solitude life alone. Then he divided his property equally and he was about to distribute this property to both the wives, Maitreyi and Katyayini. Katyayani was very happy. She was a humble lady and she was very happy. And Maitreyi was she was wise and intelligent. Maitreyi asked, dear husband, I am thankful that you are considering me also to the recipient of this, your property and you are giving fine. But I have got one doubt. Can you clarify before giving this your property, before sharing your property? Maitreyi made this statement and Yajnavalkya said, yes, my dear lady, what do you want? Maitreyi asked, by taking this property, by accepting your property, whatever you are giving, will I be happy eternally? Yajnavalkya says, may not be. You'll be happy for some time, no doubt. But some point of time, or sometimes you'll be happy, no doubt. But eternally you can't be happy, no doubt. Then Maitreyi asks, okay, then I don't want this. Can you give me that by which I can be happy at all times? Then again, that Brodhanika Upanishad comes into picture there. There's a beautiful conversation between Maitreyi and Yajnavalkya. And Yajnavalkya was really happy about it. And he tries to tempt her and she doesn't get tempted. And finally, he bestows Brahmagnana, the knowledge of Brahman for her, which is the form of part of Brodhanika Upanishad actually. And after that, Yajnavalkya, after bestowing the Brahmagnana to his own wife, and he goes to the forest and he takes Vidvat Sannyasa. Vidvat Sannyasa means after the experiencing of the Brahman, he doesn't have anything. So he takes the form of mendicant life or a monasticism. He takes Vidvat Sannyasa, he goes to the forest and he just leads a contemplated life, thinking about his own nature. That is a beautiful story of Yajnavalkya. And from Yajnavalkya, Shukla Yajurveda has come. Now, and if you see interestingly, the one question might come, Swamiji, we have studied already few Upanishads which has been taught by you. Then why should new Upanishad, one more Upanishad? Because we see same idea has been discussed everywhere. more or less, maybe some new things, some not. But why should we study again and again? I mean, someone said, Swami, you don't have any other work other than studying and teaching. This is your life, fine. But we householders, we have got so many things. Why don't you consider? I mean, on the lighter side, one a devotee or my friend, good friend, he or she was telling. I said, yeah, that is true. I don't have any other work except studying and teaching of these scriptures. But having said, when we study the Upanishads more and more, we will get more and more clarity. Like for an example, I can give you technically, each Upanishad has got just 18 mantras. Okay. And it has given in the very secret form, coded form, or in a subtle form actually. Now that Ishavasya Upanishad ideas has been discussed in detail to certain extent in Kenopanishad actually. Okay, and it has discussed in much more detail comparatively again in Kathopanishad. Now, Taittiriya Upanishad, whatever we are studying, these discussions has discussed in detail in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and Chandogya Upanishad. So now here it is in a cryptic form in Taittiriya Upanishad. Now, after studying, if you want to go in detail, if you want to understand in detail, then the commentators say that you should read Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and Chandogya Upanishad. So like this, technically, these Upanishads are well connected. And one more thing I want to tell you, I mean, I think I detailed there her also, that by studying Upanishads, really, seriously, sincerely, if we can assimilate to a certain extent, we will become fit. Okay, by going to gym, I can become fit, no doubt. By doing yogasanas, I can become fit. Or maybe if not, swimming pool, every day I go and I swim for half an hour, 1 hour, I'll be fit, no doubt. By studying Upanishads, how can I become fit? What do you mean by it, Swamiji? Don't bluff me because I don't know all the Upanishads. I mean, that was her, what do you say, her facial expression. So when I said fit, you know, the word fit contains 3 letters, alphabets, F-I-T. So fit means it is not only physically fit. Fit have got a different abbreviation actually. It is a abbreviation. Fit here is F stands for reduction in frequency of unhealthy reactions to the situations in the life. Reduction of frequency of unhealthy reactions to the situations in the life. Our life is with full of dualities, whether I want or I don't want. Sometimes I get favorable situations, sometimes unfavorable situations. Sometimes I get joy, sometimes I experience sorrow. Sometimes I get things whatever I wish, sometimes which I want to avoid at all extent, but I get it, whether I want it or not. But how do I react? How do I respond? That is what all my life is. By studying Upanishad systematically, consistently, more and more, what happens? Your unhealthy reactions to the situations will reduce in the life. By studying Vedanta, by studying the Upanishads, what happens? Your unhealthy reactions to the situations will reduce. So Vedanta doesn't ask us to change anyone. People say, oh, if my wife can behave in little this way, I will be happy. My boss, if he's bit controlled in his speech, I think I will be happy. Oh, Ireland has got a, what do you say? I keep quoting this wetty, windy weather and sun is luxury, that to December, January, my dear. I think if little more sun is there, it is good. But Vedanta asks you, don't change anyone, anything. That is not possible to the larger extent. Then what to do? Vedanta asks us to change ourselves. Problem is subjective, solution is also subjective. So that's what I mean. So the reduction in frequency of unhealthy reactions to the situations in the life is achieved here. My teacher Gurudev used to tell, if you study Advaita Vedanta, what happens? You will travel from what to so what. What to so what. That's all happens. So that's why we should keep studying Advaita Vedanta or the philosophy. And okay, F. Only I have discussed F. What is it I then? I is reduction in intensity. F is reduction in frequency. Okay. I is reduction in intensity to all the unhealthy reactions sorry, reduction in intensity of unhealthy reactions to the situations in their life. It might be at any level, physical level, mental level, emotional level, any level you can take. The intensity also has to reduce. I mean, I keep saying this again joke. So I've seen some people, they get two times only annually cold. They get only annually two times cold, but once it comes, it stays for 6 months. So they get annually two times only cold, but once it gets, then it will stay for 6 months. And we see people short temper. Oh my dear, be careful with him. He's a bit short temper. He will jump on you. He's not only jump on you, he will bounce on you. Sometimes we do speak among friends, colleagues, I mean family members and all. So, oh, he or she is very bashful in nature. He or she is very known for her arrogance, pride. We keep saying all these things. It might be something with us also, no doubt. So the intensity also has to be reduced. And the third is the T. F is reduction in frequency. I is reduction in intensity. The T is reduction in time. Someone scolded me. For it is good or bad, right or wrong, I'm not going to details. Someone scolded me. I couldn't sleep. My mind is not happy. I am not able to concentrate. My BP has been shot up. And it took 3 days to become normal. Someone scolded. It is right or wrong. Maybe we can, for just for contextually, we'll take. I have not done anything wrong, but because of some misunderstanding, miscommunication, or because of her arrogance, she scolded me or he scolded me. And it took for me 3 days to come out from that problem. Now, if you study Vedanta sincerely and if you start putting into practice that 3 days, it gets reduced to 2.5 days. Then slowly 2 days, then 1.5 day, a day, few hours, an hour, few minutes, few seconds, or may not be. So Vedanta doesn't accept that nothing will happen to you. No, we are all human beings. Sometimes we do react, sometimes we get moved, sometimes we get disturbed, no doubt. But the frequency, intensity, and time to recover should get decreased. So Vedanta doesn't say that, oh, I'm studying Vedanta, now onwards, I should not get agitated. I should not get disturbed. I should not react. Fine, that is the ideal situation, but it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes we do react. We do get disturbed, no doubt. We have to accept it. We are all human beings. We are not like a robots. But only Vedanta is asking you, my dear, please reduce the frequency, reduce the intensity, reduce the time of reduction. So when you study Vedanta, when you start thinking the Vedanta systematically, consistently, this is what we are getting to. We are getting in a layman's language. If you want me to put like healthy mind, like it bounces back like a rubber ball. A tennis ball, a rubber ball, you hit to a wall, it comes back, it bounces back. So when we are having a Vedantic mind, what happens in the negative situations? In the disturbing situations, our mind might react just for a few minutes or few moments and it comes back immediately. Oh, no, 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 no. But if unhealthy mind, untrained mind, or non-Vedantic mind behaves like a wet clay ball. You throw a wet clay ball to the wall, what happens? It goes and it gets stuck there, or it might fall there. It doesn't come back. So Vedantic mind will act like a rubber ball or a tennis ball. Means it goes and it hits few seconds, it will come back. So there will be no residue left in our mind. That's what I am telling you. Okay. And one more thing, as per Vedantic tradition, it says by studying Vedanta and putting into practice, two things we are going to get. Means just I'm telling the Sanskrit line. So if you can understand, fine. Otherwise, I will be giving the English meaning. So do not worry. Atyantika dukkha nivrutti and paramananda prapti. Atyantika dukkha nivrutti means complete cessation of the sorrow. Like a child was crying. Why? Because child wanted doll. You gave the doll for the child. Child is happy for few moments and hour or two. After some few hours, again the child cries for something else. So, like this, the worldly possessions can give temporary happiness, momentary happiness for us, momentary security, but it cannot give complete happiness at all given point of time. It cannot remove our sufferings, remove our pain at all given point of time. But Vedanta, when you can put into practice, it completely removes all the sorrows. Not only that, Paramananda Prapti, and you will attain. Again, I'm using the word attain because there is no other word, but attaining the supreme bliss. Removal of complete suffering, and at the same time attainment of the supreme bliss, unalloyed bliss, is what the fruit of studying Vedanta. Now, why I am telling you? So be careful, you have to attend the classes. So by attending regularly Vedanta classes by Swami Shantivratananda, you are going to get complete removal of suffering and attaining the happiness. That's why I'm giving stress to this. If you want this, yes, come for the Vedantic course or Vedantic class. If you don't want, then I say all the best. Okay. Now, again, one more, 2 or 3 points I want to tell, and it will be introductory class. Next time onwards, I'll go to the text. So the scriptural sadhana, or the spiritual practices given by the Vedanta traditionally is three: Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana. What is that? Let me explain you. Shravana means systematic and consistent study. So there are two words I'm using. Systematic study should be done, and consistency also should be maintained as much as possible. So I see people here and there, they start reading. I mean, once I went to, US last year. In US, one of the devotee, he asked sincerely in the mid coast. Swamiji, I'm trying to study Vedanta, I'm not able to understand. I think they themselves, they're not clear. He made a statement. I said, first themselves, they're not clear. Let me see. First, let me see whether you are clear and how are you studying. He said, oh, I'm very rational and logical. I'm interested in Vedanta. I'm studying Brahma Sutras, the logical treatise on the Vedanta. I said, fool, you are not supposed to do that. You have done the mistake. Why? Because just you have started 1 plus 2, 3, and you have already started thinking of trigonometry, calculus, and analytical geometry. How can you understand? You have to go step by step. That is, you will study in your graduation, the universities, not in the lower primary. Then what should we do? I said, there's a methodology to study Vedanta. First, we should study introductory manuals, then Gita, then at least few Upanishads, then you go to Brahma Sutra, you'll be able to understand. Then he said, thank you, Swamiji, no one had told me this, and now we have started Prakarana Granthas. And he says, now Vedanta is making a sense for me, and I feel that the Vedantic teachers know Vedanta properly. He is making a statement now recently. So very systematic approach for any subject is very, very important. So that's why systematic study is important. And not only that, consistency should be there. Today I read 2-3 pages, or maybe 2-3 days I read. Then I forget. After a week or two, I read 2-3 pages. Then after a month, I will read few pages. Then afterwards, I finished book, but I thought I understood Vedanta, but I didn't understand Vedanta properly. If I don't understand Vedanta properly, is okay, but we will understand wrongly. That's the greatest problem. Many times that's where people land up at. So that's a systematic, and as much as possible, it should be consistency in the study. That is called, and under a competent guru, competent teacher, that is what called Shravana. So we should study systematically, consistently, under the competent guru, that is called Shravana. Otherwise, more confusions. We have got already confusions, and more confusions will happen in our life. Okay. Then Manana. Manana means deep reflection, reasoning. Oh, the Kenopanishad said that claim that you are that Brahman, I am that Brahman. And what is that Brahman? In Drugdrisha Vivek and other places is it's told, I am that consciousness, not the body and mind. This is somewhat okay, but everything is consciousness, they are saying. How is it possible? I am consciousness, not the body and mind. To some extent, okay, but everything is consciousness in the world. There is nothing else other than consciousness. I think it is little difficult to accept or hard to believe. I think no. So such type of doubts, questions, we get it, and we should get it, I always say. And we have to clear that. For that, we need to do reflections. Whatever we have heard, we should keep on reflecting. So logical reflections using reasoning and scriptures here, Upanishads. That is what called manana. Logical reflections with the help of reasoning and also the scriptures. Why? It removes the doubts. If, if because the doubts are the intellectual obstacles actually, which stands between knowledge and conviction. Doubts are the intellectual obstacles which stands between knowledge and conviction. I have heard that everything is Brahman, everything is consciousness, but I am not getting convinced. Why? I have got a doubt. So this manana will try to remove that doubt. So the knowledge and conviction gets closer. That's why we need manana. I mean, like for example, where you go to a railway station. You go to a railway station, maybe you are in the Cork, the west coast of Ireland, and you ask a person, "Sir, this train does this train goes to Dublin?" A gentleman says, "Maybe." If someone says maybe, then you will be in a deep soup. Now you will be at a problem because you don't know whether it goes or not, because he's not decisive in nature. He said, yes, it goes, fine. No, it doesn't go, fine. That is also fine. Maybe. And unfortunately, there is no one else to ask. And he's the only person there. And he said, maybe. Now I have got a lot of problems. Whether should I go or not? If I go, where will I go and land? If I don't go, will I miss the train? So many options, so many things, I mean, so many thoughts will gush in our mind. So that's why conviction is very important in spiritual life. So that by reflections, we get conviction. From doubts, the knowledge will translate into conviction. Because already I've got a knowledge from the Shravana, from hearing, systematic study. Now the knowledge has to be translated into conviction. For that, manana is required. So why should we read Upanishads time and again? To get convinced I am that Brahman, not the body and mind. Okay. Now the third is nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is deep reflection or contemplation. Deep reflection or deep contemplation. Then other is deep and sustained, they say. They use the one more, they add one more word called deep and sustained reflection is what? Nididhyasana. So nididhyasana removes the habitual errors. How much we study Vedanta, sometimes it happens. We behave like I am the body and mind. Vedanta is asking, I have a body and mind. But we behave, I am body and mind. So there's a very simple difference, but it makes heaven and hell. Vedanta is saying that you are that consciousness. Consciousness has a body. Self has a body. But we think body has a self. So body has a self? No. Self has a body. Self has a body. I am the self, so I have a body, but I behave that I am the body, I am the mind. So here the teaching has to be more and more assimilated for that deep and sustained contemplation and reflection. When you do, then it removes the habitual errors, habitual, what do you say? Habitual errors, habitual concepts, or habitual thinking, we can say, that it all removes. I mean, just it reminds me a very interesting story. In the olden days, some of the students, how they were obsessed with the knowledge. So he had joined a Gurukula. So he studied whatever the general subjects were, the 64 subjects in the 14 years. And he was very meritorious student. He finished the subjects comparatively much faster than others. But interestingly, all of his friends were sent. And his guru never told your education is done. So he also, out of respect, he never asked, he never questioned his guru. Oh, teacher, you said that I'm intelligent and meritorious student, but all other students have left after some years, and you didn't allow me to go, and you didn't say that my education is complete. He's staying with his guru, and whatever he's teaching, he's learning. He's trying to learn. And because he was the guru's favorite student, and he used to take him along with him for the lunch. and the guru's wife used to serve for both of them the same food, similar food, or same food, more or less. And it was bitter in nature, actually. The food was bitter. For so many years, the student, while studying, the basic studying, now advanced study has got, all the time he was eating the same lunch. But never he asked, why it so much bitter every day? He never asked. So many years over. One day, while eating, suddenly he saw to the teacher's wife and he said, Mother, he used to address her also as a mother. He said, Mother, why today food is bitter? Then that lady started keeping her head on the mind and started thinking, my dear, for so many years I have served the same food. Not a single day you said bitter, and today you are saying bitter. What happened? The guru said, my dear, your education is complete. Tomorrow you can leave. The student was very much disturbed by this, and student said, Sir, revered sir, please, sorry, please excuse me, please pardon me. I have told this bitter food, so that did you get offended, angry, annoyed? Please forgive me. No, no, food is not bitter, and all. He started trying to plead him. The Guru said, no, you were right. It is bitter. It was bitter. It is bitter, no doubt. But till yesterday or till today, you never thought it is bitter. Why? Your mind was not in the food. Your mind was always in the knowledge. Now your mind has come down for some reason. That's the reason you are able to think. You are thinking that today you got a bitter food. So your education is done now. Now whatever you got, that's enough. Now tomorrow you leave it. Now this story might be very out of proportion. Or is it possible like that? How can you say 1-2 days, okay, for years he has eaten the same food? How can you say that he didn't understand that it was a bitter food? It is out of proportion, we might say, or it is just hypothetical story we might feel. But here the thing which is he was obsessed with the knowledge. To learn, to learn, to learn. He was obsessed. That's what the moral of the story we have to take. So when we can get deeply in our Vedantic study, we shall do all our duties, we shall discharge our responsibilities, but in the midst of that, if we can get obsessed with the Vedanta, then what happens? I can be happy at all given point of times. So such type of seriousness a Vedanta expects, or any field, of course, it expects. If you want to be successful in any field, such type of dedication and commitment expects. As much as possible, if you can start that, it is possible. So Vedanta is not asking us to change the world, change the people. It is only asking us to change oneself. So by studying Vedanta, what happens? You will become fit. So again, what is fit? Frequency, intensity, and time of reduction in time. So you will become fit basically. Okay, and just one or two technical things I will tell and I'll finish. So as we know, 4 Vedas we have got. 4 Vedas has got 1180 branches. Here branches means every Veda has got few branches. The branches means it is the explanation. Mantras might be little here and there, little change. The way of they were chanting and the way the explanation, the examples were given, the way it was understood, there will be slight differences. Like that, we had a 1180 branches in the 4 Vedas. And every branch had one Upanishad actually. So that's put together 1180 Upanishads we are supposed to have. Unfortunately, India had to face a lot of invasions and sometimes few other natural calamities and other things. Because of that, quite a good amount of branches, we lost it. For example, in Yajurveda at right now, where we hear that it was 600 or 800 branches we had, we get the information. But unfortunately, today we have got 10 or 15 branches only available. So for example, I'm saying you. So today we get around 200 plus Upanishads only. We were supposed to get 1180 Upanishads, but unfortunately, we get only 200 plus Upanishads. Among them, 108 Upanishads are popularly accepted, popularly and traditionally accepted. Among 108 Upanishads, 10 Upanishads are called major Upanishads and 8 Upanishads are called considered as minor Upanishads. Why these 10 Upanishads are considered major Upanishads? Because Shankaracharya has written commentary, the philosopher has written commentaries for these 10 Upanishads, and these 10 Upanishads will help us to study Brahma Sutras, that is logical treatise. That is why it is called major Upanishads. And Yajurveda has got Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda, which we all know that. Now, Taittiriya Upanishad and Kathopanishad forms, it is the part of Krishna Yajurveda. And Ishavasya Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is part of the Shukla Yajurveda. Anyhow, these are the few technical details only, you do not have to bother. So from next time onwards, this wonderful Shanti mantra we have got, this Shanno Mitra Varuna. It is a beautiful Shanti mantra. So we'll try to understand that, and from then onwards, we will try to read Upanishads and we will try to understand who am I. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu. Yeah, if anyone have got any doubts, questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Yes, Pranam Swamiji, I have a question. When you explained the purpose of Nididhyasana, and the primary purpose is it removes habitual errors. These habitual errors, can one say that these are same or something which are forced upon one because of his tendencies or vasanas? And due to this deep reflection and sustained reflection, these are made less and less intense, and the frequency of these expression of these vasanas is also going to reduce.
Yeah, I think I gave one example. One example broadly, like I have a body.
Yes.
But I am behaving like I am the body. So I will give a still pertinent example. Recently, one devotee, who attends my classes regularly, okay, he said, I mean, two instances are there from the same person. He said, Swami, he messaged me, I have got severe headache. Then we were discussing Drugdusha Viveka. Okay, Drugdusha Viveka, the discernment between seer and the seen. So he said, Swami, you said I am the Druk and not the Drushya. I am the subject and not the object, or I am the seer and not the seen. And so I have a body and mind, but I am not the body and mind. You had said that. And we can put into practice, you said. Now I have got a severe headache. I am trying to put into practice the Vedanta which you taught me, but I am not able to put. What shall I do? That was his serious problem. So one side is suffering from headache. On the other side, he's got a serious problem now. I'm not able to put the Vedanta, the seer and seen, into practice. What should I do? That was his question, and he sent a message. I said, you should feel happy. Then he took aback. Why? Because you had a severe headache. Before attending the Vedanta classes, you used to get carried over. Now, at least at that critical juncture, you are trying to put the Vedanta into practice, that I am the self, not the body and mind. I have got a headache. Headache is for head, not for mind. 102. So I said, this is the first step of progress. So at that given juncture, you are able to put into practice, or you are trying to put into practice. That's the first step of progress. One. Now, constantly thinking, trying to think, and trying to probably remove the idea of I have a body and I am not the body and mind. Once it gets assimilated, once we can put into practice, that's what it happens. Okay, that's what I'm saying, habitual error, for example. Now, one more example I will give. With respect to my Gurudev. He was, by that time, he was 94 or 95. Imagine. He's the age of 94 or 95. Suddenly, one day, he started feeling fatigue. He was feeling very weak. Not general weakness. Generally, for small things, he never used to tell. But it was little more, actually. So he told to his attendants that I'm feeling really weak. Then immediately, then doctors were called and some tests were done. Then they came to know that his blood count, or blood platelets count, has come down. That's one reason. There were a few other reasons. Then the doctors said that we should take him to hospital, and we should do some other tests, and we should give blood. We should also give him blood and few other things. But then just after 3 days, we had a Swami Vivekananda's Jayanti in that time. So then the other monks said, look, he has to be here because he's the president of our order. We'll have Brahmacharya ceremony. For the novices initiation, Gayatri Mantra initiation, he has to be here. Without him, we cannot run the show because he has to initiate them. If possible, can you arrange, we are help you, we are ready to help you. Anything is possible, anything is in our hands. So can we do the treatment here only? Is it possible? The senior monks asked, then the doctors held a meeting and they said, yes, we can manage. Okay. Now immediately his blood group was asked, and some of our young monks they were ready to donate, and one or two monks brahmacharis blood was taken, and the blood transfusion is going on. Imagine. So one side blood transfusion is going on, and with the IV fluid. 94 aged person, he is feeling weak, and blood transfusion is going on along with IV fluid just to get a little more strength. Doctors have said, and some other parameters they are checking and other things. Okay. Now he is lying down. He is lying down. Blood transfusion and IV fluid is going on. Now, in the other hand, he is reading a book. Then a senior monk comes and asks, Swami, how are you? He said, I am okay now. I'm feeling okay now. Then the monk came out because he was reading. He didn't want to disturb him. He came out and he continued his studying, reading. Now, he didn't have to go for any lecture. He didn't have to appear for any exam. He didn't have to prove that my knowledge is better than XYZ. He's already well accomplished speaker, well established speaker, and more than 30 countries he had traveled. Now, why he should read? One is he was obsessed with the knowledge. That had become his habit. So even he is feeling weak at the age of 94, blood transfusion and the IV fluid is going on. Even at that juncture, he is keeping in the right hand side, left hand side. These things are happening. Right hand is holding a book and he's reading. Now, how it is possible? Because he was very clear that I am the self and have a body and mind. I am not the body and mind. So when this knowledge gets converted into assimilation, when the knowledge gets converted into conviction and it becomes the part and parcel of assimilation, that's what we achieve. We travel from what to so what. See, he was not insensitive. He told that he is feeling weak and what all the things has to be done has been done. He didn't, oh, and I am not a body, so why should I bother? No, he's not bothering, but whatever he's supposed to do, he has done that. But he's not moved by that. He's not feeling bad about it. He's not morose. He's not depressed. He's not even anxiety. He doesn't have anxiety. These are all the things which we see. He doesn't have any of that. And having all this, blood transfusion and other things, he's enjoying his study. So when Nididhyasana gets established, or when we get established in the Vedantic truth, what happens? This is what it happens. This is what happens, I mean to say. I hope you got the understanding.
Yes, Swamiji. Thank you.
Swamiji, I had just one comment to make. So it's like you gave this wonderful explanation of this FIT, frequency, intensity, and time of unhealthy reactions. So I was thinking that another alternative thing would be frequency, intensity, and time increased for self-inquiry, reduced for unhealthy reactions, but increased for self-inquiry.
Yeah, good. I didn't think, frequency for Vedantic study should be increased. Intensity should be increased, and time should be even more.
Yeah, so that's
also good. Yeah, good way of thinking. Yeah, thank you. Yes, definitely, I'll keep it in mind. Fit can be said in two ways. One is negative context, negative connotation. The other is positive connotation. Yeah.
Yes.
Any of you have got any doubts? Okay. Good night.
Pranam Maharaj, Makar Sankranti Pranam.
Thank you. Wish you all happy Makar Sankranti.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you, Swami.
as we all know that sunlight will be more, and sun is traveling in the northern direction. So it is Harvest Festival. Basically, in India, it was started by Harvest Festival, and actually it started as a winter solstice festival. And if you see in the astronomy, actually in the 20th of December only, the sun turns from south to north actually. Okay, and because of the degree of tilt of sun or the earth, I think earth. So every 60 days, 60 years, this winter solstice will shift from one day actually. It advances. That's how even they say the Christmas we are celebrating on the 25th, which was something to do with the Roman worship and or whatever. That was also it was also connected with this winter solstice actually. So, like for example, we can say even Swami Vivekananda, when he was born in 1863, the Makara Sankranti was celebrated on January 12th. Now, in this 125 years, January 12th, instead of that, it got shifted to January 14th or 15th. So after 50 or 80, 100 years, then instead of January 15th, January 16th will be celebrating Makara Sankranti. Because every 60 years, it shifts for one day. So it started with winter solstice, where the sun turns towards northern direction so that our daylight gets increased and other things. So that's one thing, and it was the festival of harvesting in the India, basically. Yeah. So wish you all happy Makara Sankranti. May
So Maharaji, Tithi and this Makar Sankranti, these are different because we celebrate according to Tithi, Swamiji's birthday.
Okay. Now, okay. If I go into that, it will be too much details. So just I will tell you in a short form. Now, in India, we have got two type of calendars. Okay. One is lunar calendar, the other is solar calendar. However, but for both the calendars, the tithi, whatever you say, Prathama, Dvitiya, Chaturthi, Ekadashi, Dvadashi, whatever we tithi say, tithi is based on the movement of moon only. Okay, the tithi is calculated for both the lunar calendar and solar calendar. It is based on the movement of moon only. Now, the months we discuss, whichever the Paushya Masa, for an example, the months, lunar calendar people determine the month based on the movement of the moon. Now, solar calendar calculates the months based on the movement of the moon, sun, based on the sun. So that's what the difference between solar calendar and lunar calendar. Now, solar calendar, more or less, it goes along with the Gregorian calendar. In the sense, now because Makara Sankranti is according to the solar calendar, because it is pertaining to the movement of the sun. So this year, if it comes to January 14th, next year also it comes January 14th only. It doesn't change. Whereas if it is on the lunar calendar, it shifts. Why? Because the movement of moon around the earth, it takes only 24 days or 27 days. It doesn't take 30 days. So every month it is lessening 3 days, 3 days, 3 days. As a result, the festivals which is based on the lunar calendar, when we do, it doesn't go on the same date from the Gregorian calendar point of view. Now, Tithi also comes different days according to the English calendar, if you see. Why? Because the movement of the moon is not exactly 30 days. It is just 24 days or 27 days. That's the reason it comes differently, actually. Now, so the sun, every month, he shifts from one constellation to another constellation. Okay. So there is the Sankranti or Sankramana is there every monthly, actually. So he shifts from one constellation to another constellation. That shifting time is what called Sankramana or Sankranti. But especially when he goes to the Makara Rashi, I think from Dhanu Rashi to Makara, from Sagittarius to Makara, I don't remember what it is told in English. So when he shifts from Dhanu Rashi to Makara Rashi, that is called Makara Sankramana. So it is very famous. That's why we celebrate Makara Sankranti. Otherwise, every month we have got one Sankranti, actually. And now Makara Sankranti has taken so importance. Why? Because of the winter solstice and because the sun has taken the northern direction and all these and few other reasons, it has taken importance in our culture, and that's why we celebrate Makara Sankranti. Otherwise, every month one Sankranti should be there, actually, if you see. 12 Sankrantis in a year, actually. Yeah. Okay, divine dreams for all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Pranav.